good evening, good morning. If you want to find out how a lawyer ended up in a lab, stay with me and I will try to explain. It will be a very positive video, so if you're struggling and if you regret choosing your major when you were 17 or 18 and now you're 20 something or 30 even, and you realize, hey, I don't like what I'm doing, keep in mind that a lawyer ended up in the lab. Well, it's a bit of a clickbait, not gonna lie, but I will explain everything later. When I was 17 or 18, everyone around me decided to do law. Well, everyone who had same interests. And, I was always a good student and, expectations, society, parents, friends from from high school, they tell you to choose something prestigious. And you're like, oh my God, yes, I like history, I like politics, so I will be a lawyer. I had no idea what being a lawyer is. So I chose international law because I liked politics, kinda. But I never gave it a second thought. Never. I just thought, okay, my grandpa was a lawyer, so I'll be too. Okay. And then I wasn't questioning it for like 3.5 years. Okay, 3. I was like, okay, I want to make money, right? So I'll just go work in a corpo. No, it didn't end up in a corpo, definitely. Well, once I had internship in a corpo and it went horrible. So since then I have not PTSD, but a light version of it, and I'm not going back there. So then after my corpo experience, I decided to do masters, and again, expectations, I don't know, I just wanted to make money. So what gives me money? Commercial and company law. Yeah. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. During my studies, I was looking for master thesis topic. And since I've been vegetarian for more than 5 years, I think now, I'm also very invested in the animal welfare situation, like animal rights and stuff like this. But I'm also interested in science, broadly speaking, and more specifically biotechnology and all this little, molecular biology stuff. So I decided to combine all of this, and I decided to combine it with something that I'm not really interested in, which is I forgot what I wrote my thesis about. It was on consumer protection laws in EU, by the way. And I also combined it with labeling law, which is also connected with the consumer protection laws, because it has to protect consumer from misleading information. So let's say you call the burger vegan patty burger. Should you? Or is it misleading for the consumer? And it was interesting because I had to also do research on the market, like how do consumers perceive these plant-based products? Do they perceive it as meat or not? It was quite interesting. So since I had this, sort of scientific background, I decided to apply to JRC, which is like a scientific DG of European Commission, and basically scientists work there to advise policymakers. I was the only person probably who submitted their CV stating that I know something about lab-grown meat, because it's still sort of a niche topic here in Europe. And my supervisor called me, fortunately, because I love her and I love this place. And let me admit something, okay? I do not work in the lab. I wouldn't even know what to do there. I've been there once and my access card doesn't work because I cannot even enter because of the contaminants, okay? So don't expect me to work in the lab. But okay, I work next to it. And let me tell you, my work is equally important. I do research on lab-grown meat, which is basically biology. And let me tell you, it was the greatest challenge in many, many years. I don't remember the last time I had to learn that much. Study, actually. I had to read to understand molecular biology for a lawyer. Is like black magic. And I know it sounds like cliche. Obviously, science is black magic for a lawyer. But imagine having to write a report, a scientific report that will be, shared among the scientists in JRC. And they will have to read it. And you have to write it. Okay? And you have to write it properly. I am going to say something very philosophical. Okay? So prepare for that. Don't think you wasted your time ever, or that there is no way back. So don't worry, just look for chances, look for opportunities to be in the niche. Wow, I sound like a coach. Have a mentality of a tiger. One day I decided to write about this silly topic, cultivated meat, and then, I work in European Commission. Like, life is so unexpected. You never know who's going to notice your effort and your interests. So just go for it, Just, write something. I don't know what industry you're in, but if you want to switch from law to, whatever it is, just write an article about it and post it somewhere. And someone will notice it, I'm sure. If you do it well, obviously. I do it shit, so no one notices it. But you can be better. You will be better. And last but not least, let me tell you some fancy stories from work, but nothing too informative because I still cannot talk about what I do there while I work there. So let me just tell you some insights about what is interesting about working with scientists from my perspective. I am more into humanities, obviously. I am into ethics, philosophy, sociology, more this like policy side of legal sphere, more than this, like strict law, applying strict rules. I'm more into this like policy, combining it with like public interest, political interests and stuff like this. So it was very interesting for me to see this other side of the coin. So a funny example is that when I was when I started working there, we were sort of sitting there around the table at a break. We were having coffee and we were discussing cultivated meat. And I am aware that most of the society thinks it's gross and they would never include it in their diets, obviously. And I was talking with my colleague, Vanya, who I really love. She's so supportive, but anyways, she will not even watch this video. But anyways, she was sitting there and just looking at me like, huh? And I asked Vanya, would you ever try cultivated meat? And she said, yeah, it's just meat. Like, what's the difference? And I loved it. She thinks like a scientist. She thinks molecules. She thinks biology. She doesn't think gross or not gross. It's just, just some atoms together. And then there is this another anecdote that I heard. It was not I did not hear that myself, okay, personally, but it was very interesting. This guy was telling me that he has a friend who is a chemist, and this chemist always says, I hate when people tell me there is so much chemistry in this food. For me, the whole world consists of chemistry. The whole world is chemistry. Obviously, you will eat chemistry. Just stop. I loved it. So this was it from me. In this video, I am not interesting enough to talk about myself for longer than this. I hope it's not too long, the video. But stay with me for the next episodes because I will be talking about biotechnology. And I will be talking about policy on biotechnology and ethics. And something interesting, for sure. So stay with me. And I want to also say greetings to my beautiful colleagues, Folio and Philippe. And Vanya that I was talking about, but she's not gonna see this video. But I love all of you. And see you at work on Monday.